Today, people want to downplay the Latino role in hip hop. Yeah. They are so stupid.
Yeah.
Really? Hip hop would not have existed without specifically Puerto Rican.
This man is literally the biggest liar that I've seen in hip hop. Yeah, he takes the cake. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Receipts with Real. Now, a few days ago, I did a deep dive and I did a little mini docu-series where I really broke down the origins of hip-hop, and I got a lot of positive feedback. But I did see a comment where someone said it's not a debate. Y'all, it really is a debate. Like, there are people out here who are trying to steal our history from us. There are literally people who are trying to say that Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans created hip-hop, as if Black Americans didn't exist, as if we came and copied something. It's definitely an agenda to erase our history, and in this video, I'm just going to make this a part 2, a continuation of the other video that I did, because I realized in the other video, I didn't show y'all how crazy these people are and how crazy they coming at us.
Hey, I thought I was in this alone the whole time.
Oh, look, Brittany just gave me a list of Latinos in hip-hop. Ready? DJ Disco Wiz. First DJ in hip-hop.
Angie Martinez, you mean to tell me you don't know any Puerto Rican hip-hop pioneers off the top of your head? You got to read it off a list? Somebody got to send you a list so you can know your own culture? You don't find that suspicious?
The battle that they had with Romantic, which is the first Puerto Rican MC, Ruby D, was in there with the fantastic Romantic. You cannot eliminate the Latinos' contribution to hip-hop. When you talk about breakdancing, we talk about rock steady and crazy legs. When you talk about graffiti, like, it's every element of hip-hop. It was 50-50, bro.
You see this conversation come up lately about Puerto Ricans in hip-hop, right?
Yeah.
And I see Busta's been a very big advocate of, like, you know what it is?
He's an advocate of truth.
Advocate of truth, but also making sure that the information is shared. Because some people know it.
No, Busta Rhymes is full of Ozempic and self-hate. That's what he is. In fact, Joe, let me get on you for a second. How you gonna say that Puerto Ricans created hip-hop when you said you grew up in a neighborhood that was 90% black?
But Fat Joe said he grew up in the 90% African-American neighborhood, or he said black.
And I grew up in the 90% black neighborhoods. So I had to go hard since birth.
He said 90% black neighborhood. Right, but Fat Joe grew up in a 90% African-American neighborhood, so how can he turn around and say hip-hop started 50-50? Right. I saw a video of Fat Joe at a party, like in the middle 1980s. He was at a party totally outnumbered.
South Bronx.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
Look at him. Y'all see him over there looking like Christopher Columbus. Like he done hit the jackpot. He can't wait to go back home and tell all his Boricuas about the black people in their house parties.
And he was like the only one. The only Spanish dude. It might have been one or two others. But he was totally outnumbered in this party. And I think that's a good example of how hip-hop started. Right. African-American culture was totally dominating early hip-hop.
And you even said that's the 80s. So imagine the 70s.
Exactly. Said
some Latino scholar should do a book on this. When hip-hop first started, it was blacks and Latinos. At the beginning, when it started, as a matter of fact, it was that energy. We was already here, slaves in America getting free. Then Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans started coming into New York. It started from the 30s, from the 20s. We linked up. We started teaching you guys English. You started teaching us Spanish. Some of the foods that we forgot about, some of the ancient techniques we forgot about, the Latino community brought it back fresh from the Caribbean.
This guy has some weird fetish with Puerto Ricans. He has some sort of savior complex. He's not even limiting it to hip hop. Do you hear him saying they pretty much schooled us on everything? Child, we were uneducated slaves running away from massa. And the Puerto Ricans came and saved us and taught us everything we know. But check this out, because in this next video, he's going to contradict everything that he just said.
But when you discuss the history of hip hop, you got to understand that hip hop has many starts. Hip hop had a start in gospel, it had a start in jazz, it had a start in blues and rock and roll, disco, hip hop.
Now, it was Bam, we realized, that gave Kool Herc his accolades. Herc, of course, can speak for himself. We know this. And we know the story of Herc and Cindy, and it's part of hip-hop's folklore. We know of Grandmaster Flash's story. I still stand by the fact that Flash invented the crossfader. But we can, of course, debate that, and this is what history is really all about, because some of what was said even to me was wrong. Because some of what was said even to me was wrong. So now that we have a 40-year history, now we're looking back on it, Ahmed Scholar, been there from the beginning, he now can bring forward the other members that are now coming to him. Disco King Mario, if I may respectfully call your name, Mandingo, El Marco, others, Pete the DJ Jones, Cool D, Smokey. These are other figures that were left out of hip-hop's history because our history was basically documented through rappers, rap artists, and videos and fanzine magazines, as you pointed out. We were young. Hip-hop was happening. We are hip-hop, so we wasn't documenting ourselves. We were being ourselves.
So in one breath, he's saying loud and boisterous. There would be no hip-hop without Puerto Ricans. But if you take it back to the 90s, this man clearly said that it has its roots in gospel, jazz, black culture. Where's the sudden change coming from, KRS-One? What is your real agenda? Then you get on the platform and say that you were miseducated yourself. So if you were miseducated yourself, why are you trying to educate people?
You cannot eliminate the Latinos' contribution to hip hop. When you talk about breakdancing, we talk about rock steady and crazy legs. When you talk about graffiti, like it's every element of hip hop. It was 50-50, bro.
We disagree, but the breakdancing came with when the Hispanics got involved.
But the first b-boys, the original b-boys, were black.
Okay.
They weren't Spanish. So Trixie, Sasa, Clark Kent, the Nigga Twins,
Stuff started.
they were all black.
Yeah.
They were Kool Herc's Herculoids.
Herculoids, yeah.
And those were the original b-boys.
So why is it that the new age rappers are trying to portray the image that Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans created hip hop when you literally have the old school rappers, including the Puerto Ricans, saying that that's not the case? That guy who was just speaking was a Puerto Rican guy. And it was the black men in the room who were trying to give credit to the Puerto Ricans for the b-boy dance, and then he had to stop them in their tracks. He said, nah. Puerto Ricans didn't create that. We didn't create that. Y'all did.
Last night I was reminded exactly what is the Puerto Rican contribution to the creation of hip-hop culture. And it's breaking and b-boying. Video is taken at the longest running hip-hop party in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And the song that they're dancing to is from salsa artist Roberto Roena, who in the year 1970 put a break into his salsa song.
Oh, you talking about this b-boy dancing and this breakboy dancing that black Americans created in the 1930s? My wife? You talking about my wife? playing with me when it comes to Black American history, because suddenly social media has this obsession with trying to erase Black American history. And I'm standing 10 toes down. I don't give a damn what Fat Joe told you, KRS One. I don't give a damn what none of them niggas told you. And it's so funny because that Puerto Rican lady who created this video said that she didn't even remember what contributions Puerto Ricans gave to hip hop. It was like she had to go do some digging. Like she went and found some video on TikTok to validate her point. And her point really didn't even make too much sense, because she's talking about they were dancing to a song from the 70s, but that video wasn't from the 70s. Them boys weren't dancing in the 70s. Just because they was dancing to a song from the 70s, what point are you trying to make here? You can tell by the wardrobe that was a very recent video. But you know, a lot of people like to give credit to DJ Kool Herc for creating hip-hop. The funny thing about it is, DJ Kool Herc said that he got his inspiration from James Brown and a lot of Black American DJs. He said that himself. She hollering 1970 like she's so proud. Baby, James Brown entered the chat in the 60s.
So, right there now, I use a lot of James Brown. You know, a lot of, bass line in it. Because James Brown is like a preacher to me. James Brown is another link. James Brown is another link. Not a foundation. Yes, I use his music and a few other, white groups like, Rare Earth, a record called Get Ready. And then the Isley Brothers, a record called Get Into Something.
The Isley Brothers too. And there you have it. The legendary DJ Kool Herc himself telling y'all where he got his inspiration from.
To make the American people them dance to the music, I start to say that I could use their rhythm bass instead of using Jamaican rhythm bass. But along the way, a few people know I was Jamaican.
DJ Kool Herc did not create hip-hop, but y'all love giving him that title. And no hate to him, because every single video that I've watched of him, he's giving credit to Black Americans. So I love DJ Kool Herc. He cool with me. He fine by my book. It's all of the people who are trying to speak for him is my problem. Busta Rhymes, KRS One, Angie Martinez, what's his name? Fat Joe. All of these people are trying to speak for somebody when he's constantly told y'all where he got his inspiration from. Why are y'all trying to rewrite history? What is the narrative here? What are y'all really trying to prove? I think the most irritating part about it all is when I go study the old hip-hop videos and the old interviews from the 80s, every single person is giving credit where it's due. It's these new age people, and I don't even want to call them new age rappers, the 90s rappers, who are all of a sudden waiting until the year 2021, 2022, 2023 to start trying to discredit hip-hop's originality. There's definitely an agenda behind that. And there's also an agenda to the reason why when you Google who created hip-hop, DJ Kool Herc is the first name that pops up, although he admits that he didn't create it. He said it started in 1970, and he didn't even come along until 1973.
How y'all doing? Well, I could tell you it started from these young people right here. If you want to go back into time, these are the people that inspired me and recognized me for playing music in my apartment and then dancing outside the window, outside my window, 1520 Central Avenue, 70, 71, 72. And then, before Island becomes seen, it's bubbling under the sea. So it's been bubbling where we was at, like a first ripple. And then the island broke from under the sea in 73. All right, it spread from block to block, from borough to borough. It then started in 73. It got exposed. It cracked to see a new island is on the block. All right, it wasn't supposed to go anywhere. It was supposed to be a fad. Next week is over. It's not going to last. It was always told upon me, go down there to the little hippity hop. In other words, go down to the gutter rats. Yeah, we was called that. Next week is going to finish. Next month is going to go. Next few months is going to go. But like you tell a kid don't do something, they're going to do it.
How you doing?
Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you. And
First of all, the whole freestyle staff is glad to see you here. And I've heard you're originally come from Jamaica and reaching there in New York. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's right. I'm an immigrant from the island off Jamaica, from Kingston, the capital. And I migrated my family to the United States in '67.
Oh yeah, and then you had your sound system working in New York from up to then.
No, I was attending junior high school.
Ah yeah, I see.
I was around 13 years old back then.
Ah yeah, okay. But then you started your sound system.
I started to go to parties when I was around 16 years old.
Yeah.
And around.
Now watch how that man tried to say that DJ Kool Herc came over from Jamaica and immediately created hip hop. And DJ had to stop him like, nah, I was a kid. Like, man, I was reading books and playing with action figures. Slow down, slow your roll.
18, 19, that's when I started to experiment with my own sound system.
Pushback, there was a lot of prejudice in the sense that the blacks were telling me, you know what, man, go back to your cowbells and your music, you don't belong here. And then the Hispanics were telling me, what the hell are you doing, man? What are you doing playing that Jungle Bunny music, And I was getting criticized by both sides. What are you doing? And
so the Puerto Ricans love to bring this guy up. We have another Puerto Rican pioneer who's saying that when he first started doing hip hop, he was getting a lot of pushback from both sides. And the people on his side was calling it Jungle Bunny music. If hip hop was a part of Puerto Rican culture, why would your people be calling it that? Why would you be getting so much pushback? Why would they tell you, that you're a culture vulture from the black side? And why would your people be telling you that you don't know who you are? You got to think about, if Puerto Ricans created hip hop, why is there no rolling of the R's? Why are we not hearing their accents when it comes to our music? If y'all introducing stuff to us, eventually we will start to talk like y'all. But instead, y'all talk like us. Y'all dress like us. If you introduce something to us, it would be the other way around. And the thing about it is, the thing that DJ Kool Herc has said on many occasions is that he tried to blend in with Black American culture. He didn't come over here bringing his Jamaican culture. He wanted to fit in as much as possible. And that's where the translation is getting lost by a lot of y'all. These people came over here to assimilate and blend into black culture, not the other way around.
And Jamaicans invented hip hop. This whole hip hop shit was birthed from Jamaica. Like Kool Herc is a Jamaican nigga. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The whole concept of having big ass speakers stockpiled on top of each other and playing loud ass music outside, that come from Jamaica. That's dancehall culture. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So Kool Herc brought dancehall culture to the US and gave birth to hip hop culture. The only thing that changed was the type of music that was played.
How the origin of hip hop was started. The origin of hip hop was started by the power of black and Puerto Rican people.
As far as trying to make the American people and dance to the music, I start to say that I could use their rhythm bass instead of using Jamaican rhythm bass.
To pull in the punters, you had to have the best music blasting out of your system. The race was on for the hottest American tunes.
It's the Rican sensation. American people, they need cheap labor, so they bring to cut them cane and things. But why are they cutting cane? If you buy rhythm and blues, 6 times more money you get because you're going to sell it back to sound system people. So everybody anxious to go to the farmer, but not for cut cane. They want to go buy some record. You know?
Sam, he coined the phrase, said nobody going to play your music. Said, and I don't know what it is. Said, it's not the blues, it's not pop, it's not rock. So we're going to call it Roscoe's Rhythm. That's what he called it, Roscoe's Rhythm.
All right, now let's take a side trip right here to Jamaica, where in the late 50s, the working class people are enjoying American rhythm and blues as promoted by various mobile discos known as sound systems, run by people such as Cox and Dodd, Duke Reed. And the popular music is the really humping old R&B, such as Amos Milburn and, say, Roscoe Gordon. Huge Roscoe Gordon fans. His popular blues hit here in the States, No More Doggin', was #1 in Jamaica for like a year. As rock and roll was changing and getting smoothed out and a lot of the raw stuff wasn't happening, the Jamaicans said, well, we have to maybe we can make our own. And Cox and Dodd started to record. And so he cut his first cut was with Theophilus Beckford, Easy Snappin'. But first, let's play a little bit of No More Doggin' by Roscoe Gordon. Check this out. So it can be said, and it has often been said by the people who were there, that Roscoe Gordon sort of invented ska and therefore reggae.
It all came from the American R&B music, you know, because we're always being influenced by the impressions, all them soul R&B groups.
Love your sister, love your brothers. We would listen to a Dionne Warwick song and try to sing it exactly as Dionne did it. If you are a group, you try to study the Supremes, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. If there was a group who comes from abroad to our shores, we would want to go and see them because they have something to teach us.
Isn't that the exact opposite of what Busta Rhymes said? It's kind of funny how the older Jamaicans, the ones who would know exactly about their culture, are saying the exact opposite of what Busta Rhymes is saying. Where do y'all think he got all of this misinformation?
It was a reggae record. So right there now I use a lot of James Brown, a lot of, bass line in it, because James Brown is like a preacher to me. James Brown is another lynch. James Brown is another link.
Not a foundation.
Yes, I used his music and a few other, white groups like, Rare Earth, a record called Get Ready, and then the Isley Brothers, a record called Get Into Something, and then some other records that I pick out because I don't play the stuff that the radio play. I play stuff that it should be playing.
What does James Brown mean to you, and what do you think James Brown means to hip-hop?
I used to sit down and listen to his records like, yo, what was this dude doing back then, man? What was he on? He was on a whole new planet, man. And to take what he did then, that was like the beginning of hip-hop, man. The vibe that he came on, the beats, the horns loud, the dancing, the screaming, you know what I mean? It became swagger, you know what I mean? We took what he was doing and it became swagger.
Back in Jamaica, jazz and soul started to become a big influence in their music, and with that came R&B from the US.
At the time it was rhythm and blues. Well, Jamaica plays most American stations. They couldn't pick up English station because we're near America. So all the music we're hearing all the time was always American music.
This is because following World War II, many Jamaicans regularly traveled into southern states of the US on seasonal farm work. This is where they encountered the Americans holding block parties playing jazz, soul and R&B from speaker boxes. Jamaicans living in the ghettos of Kingston would have financially found it difficult to obtain new music or see any live gigs at the time. Due to the demand and the lack of live music, three gentlemen took the initiative to supply and play recorded music to parties and dance halls in downtown Kingston. Count Goody, Count Nicholas and Tom Wong.
Alright everyone, that's all the time that I have for today. This video is getting super long, but if you enjoyed the video, please do me a big one. Please do me a fave and hit that subscribe button. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing more and more deep dives. As I said before, this is a part 2 to the first one, so make sure y'all go back and watch that first one. And I just want to say that I'm truly disappointed in Busta Rhymes. I have no words, but I'll catch y'all next time.